Shalom Israel with the EP.5 started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. I'm Priest Officer 50, Karani Allen, and welcome to another installment of Nothing New Under the Sun, right? Today I'm kind of excited about this topic. A lot of people really don't know this, but as you can tell by the title, drill music is in the Bible. Now, if you don't know what drill music is basically a genre of music popularized by the young brothers in Chicago, such as Chief Keef, Lil Durk, and it's basically a genre of music on basically speaking about what you will do to your enemies, what you have done to your enemies, or what you want to happen to your enemies. It's basically a song to taunt your enemies because of the differences that y'all might have in the streets, right? A lot of people don't know that us as Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, us being in a lost state of mind, we actually still have the same customs, but we go about it differently in these times because we don't know exactly who we are according to the scriptures, right? There was a few prominent brothers in the scriptures that actually made similar songs to their enemies. Now, us being Israel and for the most part being in the Western Hemisphere, we don't know that we Israel and throughout the world, period, not just Western Hemisphere, Slovakia, but Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, we have discontinued from our heritage. You understand? Slovakia, let me pull that scripture real quick. Pull it up the phone with time's sake. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave you. So the Lord said to the children of Israel, we're going to discontinue from the heritage that the Lord gave us. We're going to discontinue from rocking our mitras or royal apparel as far as garments, sisters wrapping up their hair, wearing long dresses down to the feet. The Lord said we're going to discontinue from our heritage. We're going to discontinue from us keeping our high holy days, our Sabbath days. We're gonna start transitioning to keeping the customs of the heathens that's round about us in which we live. The Lord said we're gonna discontinue from eating lawful foods on an everyday basis and start eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. We're gonna discontinue from loving each other as our own people and holding ourselves in high regard versus looking at another nation like they have some value to them, which they don't. You understand? We care about our people in the ISUBK, but the Lord said we was going to discontinue from our heritage. If we didn't break the law of the Lord and have to live out these curses, which is a punishment of us breaking the law, you wouldn't have drill music towards each other. You wouldn't have brothers and sisters making diss songs about how they want to kill each other and do all this and all that to each other. It would be us making songs giving praises to the Lord for destroying our enemies at his hands. You understand? That's what I'm going to get into tonight, right? So like it. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. Now, another way that we serve our enemies in this land, these Edomites, they own all these record companies that distribute the music and put our music out through the airwaves to influence our children to do the same thing. Like, we literally are servants to them when we get a record deal and you put out music about you destroying your own people just for these Edomites. You understand? I mean, of course, it's not just for the Edomite, but it's for us to have a way out of being in poverty. You understand? But how we think that we're gonna get out of poverty is by serving these Edomites, by using our God-given talent to help get us out of a bad situation. But yet, at the same time, it's still putting these record labels in a better situation for them capitalizing off of our pain and suffering. You understand? For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. The Lord, literally, the reason why we make drill music and diss rap towards each other as Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans is because the Lord said we're going to discontinue from our heritage. You understand? Our heritage ain't to sit back and make songs about each other to destroy each other or talk about destroying each other. Or originally, a drill song or a diss record, it was a song about our people praising the Lord for destroying our enemies. You understand? I'm gonna get into a couple of them. But yeah, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you're working on getting that Hebrew name, put your name, city, and state so we can put you down, so we can mark you for attendance, so you can go in and jump in here and help us fight for the kingdom of Yahushua. You understand? Okay, without further ado, let's get into these scriptures. Now, like I said, as you can tell by the topic tonight is drill music. You understand? Before you ever heard of Chief Keef, we had Moses. You understand? Before it was a King Vine, it was King David. And these brothers was in these scriptures literally making songs praising the Lord for destroying their enemies. You understand? So without further ado, let's get into these scriptures. Okay, the first scripture, Salakia, look at my notes. Let's go to the book of Exodus, chapter 15. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 15, and I'm going to start at verse 1. Then sang Moses and the children of Israel this song unto the Lord, and spake, saying, I will sing unto the Lord, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider hath he thrown into the sea. Now, let me give you a quick backstory about what Moses and the children of Israel are actually singing about. Us being in Egypt, just like we are today, but back in ancient Egypt, we was slaves to the Egyptians. You understand? And the Egyptians had us in servitude and made us serve a harsh slavery up under their empire. You understand? They literally became the richest, most powerful empire at that time because they had the children of Israel in slavery. Now Moses, him being chosen by the Lord for him to go deliver the children of Israel, he went and basically tried to get us. He tried to get us a little bit of freedom. You know what I'm saying? He just wanted us to go into the wilderness to come serve our Lord, our God. You understand? And basically come together as our people, you understand, and come back to serving our God, which we made a covenant to do. You understand? Well, Salaki, which Abraham made a covenant to do. The Lord told Abraham, look, I'm gonna come visit your offspring, and they're gonna be a special people unto me. You understand? And the reason why these Egyptians were put on a high pedestal and put at a high social status amongst all the nations of the earth was so the Lord can show us his glory and his might by bringing that powerful empire down so we can understand what power we have to serve. You understand? So what happened was, long story short, the Lord hit the Egyptians with a lot of plagues, crippled their economy, and eventually they let us go. But on our way up out of there, the Egyptians basically, they had a hardened heart towards the children of Israel, and they went to come chase after us. You understand? Now the Lord basically gave Moses the power to be able to split the Red Sea so we can walk through the Red Sea and get away from these Egyptians. Master Salaki, I don't want to say he gave him the power, but the Lord split the Red Sea for us, and basically he made it look as if Moses was able to do it by himself in the sight of all the people. Like, nah, man, the Lord is with him. Y'all follow him. He gonna get y'all out of this hell. You understand? So basically what happened was the Egyptians, they tried to run and follow after us, and the Lord closed the water up on their army, you understand, and drowned their whole army. And this is what Moses is singing about right here, and the children of Israel. This is literally a drill song. You understand? Like today, you hear brothers talking about who they done shot or how this person then died, and basically making a mockery of their own brother in the music that they putting out today. Basically to show his superiority to the fallen brother or to another brother that he has a problem with in the streets. You understand? Moses took the righteous approach of making it this song to another nation that basically the Lord didn't give a damn about, and that's not his people. You understand? Moses basically was like, man, look, the glory be to the Lord, man. He slaughtered y'all. He destroyed y'all. You understand? And that's what drill music is about. It's about you singing a catchy song about you destroying your enemy. Well, this comes from the Bible. Right now, what I'm reading, this is Moses in the book of Exodus, the 15th chapter. This is literally the first drill song in history. You understand? Book of Exodus, chapter 15 and verse 2. So, like, I'm going to start at verse 1 again. Then sang Moses and the children of Israel this song unto the Lord. Look, they singing a song to God. You understand? And spake, saying, I will sing unto the Lord, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider had he thrown into the sea. This is talking about the Egyptian army on how they drowned in the sea. You understand? In the Red Sea, Salakia. Verse 2, the Lord is my strength and my song, and he has become my salvation. He is my God, and I will prepare him in habitation, my father's God, and I will exalt him. You understand? You see how brothers get up in these drill songs and these diss songs, talking about what they gonna do to another brother, talking about whatever type of gun that they gonna use. Yeah, well, the gun that Moses used was the Most High God. You understand? That's exactly who he was praising up to be his weapon. You understand? Verse 3, the Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. You're like, man, look, the Lord is a man of war. Nigga, like, nigga, my power, boy, he's a man of war. You understand? Verse 4, Pharaoh's chariots and his host hath he cast into the sea. His chosen captains also are drowned in the Red Sea. Moses is literally talking about the destruction of his enemies in a song. He's telling you exactly how these damn heathens died in a song with the power of the Lord. You understand? The depths have covered them to the bottom as a stone. Look, man, Moses had bars. That's real life, a metaphor. Like a nigga would rap in a song today. How he would compare something to else that has nothing to do with it. He said nigga sank to the bottom like a stone. Nigga Moses gassing right now. You hear me? Salakia. Verse 6, thy right hand, O Lord, is become glorious in power. Thy right hand, O Lord, have dashed in pieces the enemy. Just like a nigga would be like, man, we done pulled up on a nigga block and let off 30 rounds, or we done dropped 100 on a nigga. This is literally what Moses is saying. He said the Lord did dash these niggas into pieces. You understand? Verse 7, and in the greatness of thy excellency, thou hast overthrown them that rose up against thee. Thou sentest forth thy wrath, which consumed them as stubble. Man, he said, Moses got bars. He's saying the Lord sent forth his wrath, which consumed them as stubble. He's likening the anger of the Lord to fire. You understand? Fire will burn some what you call that, some dry grass, some dry bushes, and consume it. He said that the Lord's wrath can consume them as stubble. You understand? Salakia. Verse 8. And with the blast of thy nostrils, the waters were gathered together. The flood stood upright as in heap, and the depths were congealed in the heart of the sea. Verse 9. The enemy said, I will pursue, I will overtake, I will divide the spoil. My lust shall be satisfied upon them. I will draw my sword, my hands shall destroy them. Now he telling you, man, look, the enemy's like, bro, they coming after us. They finna rob us, they finna kill us, they finna do all this type of stuff. He tell you like that's like a nigga saying, yeah, bro, what happened to all that stuff you was talking about, bro, when you said you was gonna do this and you was gonna do that? What happened? You feel me? Or you ain't know niggas was ready for you. This is literally the same spirit that brothers have today in the world, but yet a righteous hatred for their enemies and not a nigga from up the street that you think is your enemy. You understand? Verse 10, thou didst blow with thy wind. The sea covered them. They sank as lead in the mighty waters. Look, Moses spitting bars in. He said them niggas sank as a piece of lead in mighty waters. You throw some lead in the ocean, it's going straight down. You understand? Salakia. Verse 11. Who is like unto thee, O Lord, among the gods? Who is like thee, glorious in holiness, fearful in praises, doing wonders? Thou stretchest out thy right hand, the earth swallowed them. Man, he said, look, you stretched out your right hand and made the earth swallow these damn heathens. Moses is literally singing about the destruction of his enemies in a song, and the children of Israel are singing right with him. This is literally the spirit that blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans have today. You understand? When you watch all these man, they be putting these young niggas on ads on YouTube now with all the guns in the video. You understand? It's 13, 14 niggas. All these niggas got pistols with 30-round clips on them, and they sit up there basically taunting their enemies about what happened to their dead friend or what's gonna happen to the next one. You understand? This is the same thing Moses and the children of Israel doing. Imagine us coming out of Egypt. You understand? But this time, and this time, we ain't even had to do it ourselves. We ain't went to war with these people. You understand? We literally left out of Egypt, and the Most High God destroyed these damn heathens because he loves us. And now the children of Israel are basically singing to the Lord, taunting these heathens. So like, give me some water. Verse 13, thou in thy mercy hast led forth the people which thou hast redeemed. Thou hast guided them in thy strength unto thy holy habitation. Man, look, the Moses and the children of Israel, man, we sending up prayers to the Lord for him redeeming us. This is literally like a nigga making a song about his favorite gun that has got him out of some funk. This is literally like a nigga making a song about my like the nigga YG had a song called My Nigga, My Nigga. It's basically like Moses and the children of Israel, like, man, my nigga to the Lord. Like, man, the Lord then brought us out of hell. He done redeemed us from these damn heathens, and we done got justice. The Lord got our back. You understand? So like, yeah, keep going. Verse 14, the people shall hear and be afraid. Sorrow shall take hold of the inhabitants of Palestine. They like, look, man, when people hear about what you did for the children of Israel, Lord, these niggas gonna be scared of our God. They gonna be scared to even mess with them. Like the same thing when a nigga be like, yeah, nigga, I pulled up on a nigga black, you know what I'm saying, and bounced out with the chopper, and them niggas start running. Them niggas were spooked. Man, them niggas eyes got big as baseballs. You understand? It's the same thing that Moses saying. Look, the rest of these damn heathens gonna be scared when they see us rock up. You understand? They gonna be scared about what our God can do for us to them. You understand? Same thing that brothers do today when they sit up here and talk about how they make their enemies run, or you niggas are scared of me, or this and that. You understand? This literally is the same spirit that Moses had on him to talk about these heathen nations, but righteous hatred for them because these ain't his people. You understand? Then the dukes of Edom shall be amazed. The mighty men of Moab, trembling, shall take hold upon them, and the inhabitants of Canaan shall melt away. Man, he said, look, the so-called oppressor caveman, that nigga gonna be scared. Them Chinese niggas, them niggas gonna be scared when they see it. You understand? Who else he said? Salakia. All the inhabitants of Canaan shall melt away. And them damn South Africans, them niggas gonna be scared when they see us. You understand? Verse 16, fear and dread shall fall upon them by the greatness of thine arm. They shall be as still as a stone, till thy people pass over, O Lord, till the people pass over which thou hast purchased. Man, look, they like, man, these niggas gonna be scared when we in their presence until we leave their presence. That's just like a nigga saying a song. Yeah, nigga, I hit the party, you feel me? Yeah, them niggas shook when I was in that thing, you feel me? Yeah, everybody was quiet until I left. You hear me? The same thing. Nigga, Moses putting this in a song. You understand? Verse 17, thou shalt bring them in and plant them in the mountain of thy inheritance, in the place, O Lord, which thou hast made for thee to dwell in the sanctuary, O Lord, which thy hands have established. Man, look, the children of Israel and Moses, we giving praises to the Lord, how he finna take us to a land that he promised to us and plant us there. You understand? Meaning we gonna go there and we gonna stay there and we gonna grow and be prosperous there because the Lord is with us. You understand? Verse 18, the Lord shall reign forever and forever. Man, look, you got, man, brothers in the world, they will literally make songs about their favorite gun or whatever type of tool that they use to destroy another type of person. You understand? We sitting up here, we giving praises to the Lord God, which is our weapon of war at this time. You understand? Verse 19, for the horse of the Pharaoh went in with his chariots and with his horsemen into the sea, and the Lord brought again the waters of the sea upon them. But the children of Israel went on dry land in the midst of the sea. And look, Moses and the children of Israel, like, look, bro, we untouchable with God. You understand? Like, our power destroyed you niggas. Y'all try to do what we would. Y'all try to be like us and go through these waters how we did, and the Lord destroyed y'all for that. Y'all ain't nothing like us. Our power does not work for you. Our power works for us. That's why you niggas lost, right? It's a lot, yeah. Verse 20, and Miriam the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took a timbrel in her hand, and all the women went out after her with timbrels and with dances. Now, it ain't even just the men, it's the sisters too. They getting their instruments and singing and playing beats and dancing unto the Lord because they happy that the children of Israel have won this war. You understand that the sisters got in on the drill music too. They got in and had fun about them basically talking about how the Lord destroyed our enemies too. This is Black, Latino, Native American men, women, and children giving the glory to the Lord for him destroying our enemies. Verse 21, and Miriam answered them, sing ye to the Lord, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider hath he thrown into the sea. Man, she's sitting out there like, man, y'all sing that. You understand, man? Sing to the Lord. Go ahead. You feel me? The Lord then delivered us from these wicked, nasty, filthy heathens. The Lord then got us up out that jam and destroyed them niggas who wanted to destroy us. Man, praise the Lord, man. Sing that song, you feel me? She out there cheering the people up to sing harder, sing louder. You understand? She all in the music because the Lord had delivered the children of Israel out of the hand of these Egyptians. And we felt so great and grateful about it that we literally made a diss song to these damn heathens that had us enslaved, right? So like it. Let me get another one, right? Let's go to 1 Samuel 18:5-7. Right? That this is our culture. Our culture is literally like blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. We are skillful people. Don't nobody sing, dance, rap, play basketball. They don't do nothing like us. You understand? They made billion-dollar industries off of the food that we create. You understand? Like you got blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans that damn near created everything that America uses. Like look at the food industry, right? You got KFC and Popeyes. And KFC and Popeyes is multi-million, if not billion-dollar companies, right? And fried chicken literally came from the slave quarters. You understand? You got Taco Bell, Del Taco, Chipotle, what else? El Pollo Loco, right? All of these places are literally dishes that came from our Mexican brothers and sisters with the tribe of Issachar. These is multi-million dollars, if not billion-dollar industries, just off of the food that we made, being in the struggle, basically. You understand? And everything that we do it better than everybody else. We are skillful people. So just like today, you hear brothers and sisters make diss songs and drill music towards killing each other, and then you got the whole nation literally still listening to our type of music, even though it's music of our own demise and destruction. It's still good music to people, so they know that they can market our music and make millions and billions of dollars off of it. Imagine you coming out of Egypt with the children of Israel after you just seen the Lord slaughter your enemies with some supernatural stuff. Them songs are going to be glorious. They're gonna be way better than a King Von or a Lil Durk song talking about killing your own brother that look just like you, but y'all don't know who y'all is, so you think he a op, or you think he the enemy. You understand? These songs that I'm bringing you out of the scriptures are literally diss songs and drill songs to our enemies. When we had our culture, when we knew exactly who we were, when we knew that our brother was not our enemy and we supposed to clear up any alt with our brother, we made drill music about the Lord destroying our enemies. This is the book of Salakia, 1 Samuel chapter 18. And start at verse 5. It's the book of 1 Samuel chapter 18 and verse 5. And David went out whithersoever Saul sent him, and behaved himself wisely. And Saul set him over the men of war, and he was accepted in the sight of all the people, and also in the sight of all Saul's servants. Now, basically, what's going on there? Basically, David is not king yet. We still have King Saul as a king, right? And this is after David slew the Philistine Goliath. You understand? He shot him in the head with a slingshot and then walked up to him and chopped his head off. After David showed that he was a man of war, you understand? The Saul basically put him as head in charge over the military of Israel. You understand? And wherever Saul sent David, David went and handled himself wisely. You understand? David was a monster on that battlefield. Before he was King David, David was a warrior for the children of Israel. You understand? verse 6. And it came to pass as they came, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistine, that the women came out of all cities of Israel singing and dancing to meet King Saul with tabrets, with joy, and with instruments of music. Man, look, when David came back from war with the Philistines, the sisters of the children of Israel, they came and met the brothers coming back from war and played songs and music for them. These sisters were so happy that they was victorious in war. The sisters literally came out with instruments and all of that to basically cheer their brothers on and sing songs to them to let them know how much they appreciate them for defending the nation of the children of Israel, right? And the women answered one another, and they played and said, when they say they played and said, they was outside playing their instruments of music and making songs. You understand? Right? And as they played and said, Saul has slain his thousands and David his 10,000. Look, the sisters making drill music too. They come outside when niggas just come back from war and playing music and stuff and like, yeah, man, Saul, he didn't kill thousands and David killed 10,000. These sisters are literally making songs about the Lord destroying their enemies. You understand? Our sisters back in those times I mean, up in this ISUPK, they righteous as hell. You understand? But back in those times, you had sisters who actually appreciated the brothers that went to war for the nation of Israel, like how they appreciate the brothers in the ISUPK up under Commander General Yana. These sisters literally was making diss songs to our enemies, talking about how King David then killed tens of thousands of Saul and killed thousands of them. You understand? This is literally the opposite of a Cardi B or a Meg Thee Stallion basically sitting up here and putting throughout the airwaves that Black, Latino, and Native American men ain't nothing and they ain't worth nothing unless you can pay them or give them some money. These sisters, they wasn't on that. They was like, man, look, we love, respect, and cherish these brothers for putting their life on the line for protecting our nation. You understand? Most High Christ for Saul and David that killed these thousands of heathens and basically made our nation victorious. You understand? Yeah, but the sisters got in on the drill music too back in those times. And this how loving, holy, and righteous our people was back in those times. We was literally making songs about the Lord destroying our enemies. Like in ISUPK, brothers do it all the time. Shout out to Lost Tribes Music Group. You understand? Officer Dawada and Captain Katazai, right? They got some gold going on. And shout out to every brother in the UPK that is rapping or whatever you're doing musically. Shout out to the UPK, period. But today, just like how we had back in the day, in the UPK, brothers are literally making drill music about the Lord destroying our enemy. Most High in Christ for that, right? Let me get my next precept. We're gonna go to 2 Samuel chapter 22. And there's plenty of songs in here about brothers basically praising the Lord for destroying our enemies. If I was to go through everything that brothers were saying in these scriptures, this would probably be a 3-hour class. You understand? But for time's sake, I'm not gonna go through every one, but I'm gonna just go to a couple of them to show you basically like what's going on today in the hip hop community and the drill scene. That literally comes from the Bible. But today it's a bastardized version of it with Blacks, Latinos, and Native American brothers basically taunting each other with their music about them destroying each other. Well, back in these times, we wasn't making no music about destroying our own brothers. We was making music about the Lord destroying these heathens, right? This is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 22. I'm gonna start at verse 1. I'm gonna think, let me see, so like, yeah, I'm gonna down there read this whole chapter, because this whole chapter is a song. David therefore departed thence and escaped Salakia. Oh, is this it? Salakia, no, that's not it. Give me 1 second, Bible good shot. Salakia. Okay, here we go. This is the book of 2 Samuel in chapter 22. I'm gonna start at verse 1 and I'm gonna read it all the way down. And David spake unto the Lord the words of this song in the day that the Lord had delivered him out of the hand of all his enemies and out of the hand of Saul. You understand? See, David, him being delivered out of the hand of Saul, Saul was the king of Israel, right? David was not basically looking at Saul as an enemy, even though Saul did want to kill David because Saul got jealous of David for the scripture that I just read when his sisters was like, man, look, Saul killed 1,000, but David killed tens of thousands, right? David still didn't look at Saul as an enemy. And when I read this to you, he's not talking about the Lord destroying Saul. He's talking about the Lord delivering him from his enemies, the Philistines, and all the wars that he fought in, and the Lord basically saving his life from being destroyed by Saul. You understand? He still, like, even though he knew Saul wanted to kill him, this brother King, well, Salaki, he wasn't King David at this time, but David, the father of Solomon, right? He still did not make a song about destroying one of his brothers, right? Verse 2. And he said, the Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer. He's giving all the glory to the Lord. Man, look, the Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. Basically, he's gonna save me from whatever I go through that I can't handle on my own. The Lord got me, right? Verse 3. The God of my rock, in him will I trust. He is my shield and the horn of my salvation, my high tower and my refuge, my savior. Thou savest me from violence. Man, look, David not sitting up here rapping about his AK-47 or his Glock or you know what I'm saying, or his Colt 45. He ain't rapping about his Sig sword. He's not rapping about his sword. He ain't sitting up here giving the praises to his weapon on this is how he got delivered from out of all of these troubling times. He giving his glory to the Lord. You understand? I will call on the Lord who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from mine enemies. Man, look, he's saying, look, I'm going to call on the Lord. He's worthy to be praised, and he's going to save me from my enemies. Not this sword. This gun ain't going to save me from my enemies. You understand? It's the Most High going to be able to save me from my enemies if he see fit. I'm going to call on him. I ain't going to put my trust in man. I ain't going to put my trust in a weapon. I'm going to put my trust in the Lord, right? So shall I be saved from mine enemies. Verse 5. When the waves of death compassed me, the floods of ungodly men made me afraid. Man, David, like, look, bro, I was spooked. I was scared, man, at one point in time. You understand? The sorrows of hell compassed me about. The snares of death prevented me. He like, man, look, I was distressed. I was in a low state of mind. I was in hell thinking about death, right? Verse 7, in my distress, I called upon the Lord and cried to my God, and he did hear my voice out of his temple, and my cry did enter into his ears. He's like, look, when I was going through hard times and I had nobody else to turn to, man, I called on the Lord. The Lord heard me, and he delivered me from these enemies, right? Verse 8, then the earth shook and trembled, and the foundations of heaven moved and shook because he was wroth. He like, man, look, The Lord shook things up down here on earth for me just because he was mad about what they was trying to do to me. Right? Verse 9. There went up a smoke out of his nostrils and fire out of his mouth, devoured. Coals were kindled by it. Verse 10. He bowed the heavens also and came down, and darkness was under his feet. Verse 11. And he rode upon a cherub and did fly, and he was seen upon the wings of the wind. Man, look, he like, man, the Lord came expediently for it. You understand? So, like, let me read that one more time. And he rode upon a cherubim and did fly, and he was seen upon the wings of the wind. Right? Verse 12. And he made darkness pavilions round about him, dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. Verse 13. Through the brightness before him were coals of fire kindled. And they like, man, look, the Lord was mad. The Lord was hot. Verse 14. The Lord thundered from heaven, and the Most High uttered his voice. Verse 15. And he sent out arrows and scattered them, lightning and discomfited them. He like, man, look, the Lord discomfited my enemies. You understand? Basically, the Lord saved me from me having trouble with these damn heathens. Verse 14. Salaki, verse 15. Salaki, verse 16. And the channels of the sea appeared. The foundations of the world were discovered at the rebuking of the Lord, at the blast of the breath of his nostrils. Verse 17. He sent from above. He took me. He drew me out of many waters. Man, he said, look, the Lord done saved me. You understand? The Lord, me calling on him, this is the power that's going to save me from all my enemies down here on planet Earth. You understand? David is giving all the glory to the Lord right now. Like basically this whole song is him basically praising the Lord and the Lord delivering him from his enemies. And Salakia. Verse 18. He divided from me my strong enemy, and from them that hated me, for they were too strong for me. David like, look, man, these enemies that came to fight me and destroy me, they was too strong for me. But you know how I was able to get delivered from them? The Lord had my back. You understand? The Lord is the reason why I'm still here today to be able to sing this song. So I'm going to give all the glory to the Most High. Verse 20. So like verse 19. They prevented me in the day of my calamity, but the Lord was my stay. They prevented me in the day of my calamity. They wanted to stop me in the day that I can be destroyed. So like, let's look up that word calamity. That's one of those words that I have to look up over and over again. Calamity, an event causing great or often damage or distress or disaster. He said the Lord, so like, let me read that again. They prevented me in the day of my calamity, but the Lord was my stay. Man, David been distressed. They tried to stop him when he was distressed, and the Lord delivered him. Verse 20. He brought me forth also into a large place. He delivered me because he delighted in me. He like, man, look, the Lord messed with me. You understand? The Lord delivered me because he's happy with me. Understand? David keep the law, statutes, and commandments. David loves his brother as his own self. The Lord was happy with David. That's why the Lord delivered David from his enemies. The Lord rewarded me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands have he recompensed me. And look, The Lord has delivered me because I'm righteous, because I don't do no evil deeds with my hands. And the reason why He delivered me is because I'm being a righteous servant to Him. You understand? So like I wasn't gonna get into the that whole chapter, but basically King David, he's basically giving praises to the Lord for Him destroying his enemies in the time of his distress. In a time when David needed the Lord to fight for him, the Lord fought for him and destroyed his enemies. You understand? But I'm gonna go ahead and drop that, right? And let's get into. We're gonna get into the Salakia. Let me see what I put in my notes. And we're gonna get into the Star Spangled Banner, right? The Star Spangled Banner, what not too many people know, is actually a diss song. Who is a diss song? Who is a diss song, you might ask? We're gonna get into a little bit of history on why the song was written. You understand? But before we get into why the song was written, and I'm gonna actually read y'all the third verse of the national anthem, which a lot of people don't know exists, right? And let's go to this, right? Right. Okay. The British Corps of Colonial Marines. Now I know a lot of brothers and sisters I have never even heard of the Colonial Marines, but I got this article. It's on battlefields.org, right? And I'm gonna read this article so you can understand who the Colonial Marines were, right? Okay. Like their brethren during the American Revolution, enslaved persons and people of color living around the Chesapeake and in the tidewater regions of the mid-Atlantic states were faced with several choices during the War of 1812, right? Now, basically, this war that's going on in 1812. So, like, let me see I'm gonna just give you a little brief history, a little vague history, right? America and Great Britain are at war in 1812, right? And basically what's going on is they basically going to war about slavery. Whether this is the term that I put it in, right? Whether we're gonna keep these niggas in physical bondage or we gonna put these niggas in systematic slavery. Now, we understand the Confederate Army was defeated. They lost that war. Niggas ain't in physical bondage no more. We're in systematic bondage, right? Reading on. They could either fight for the states, a nation that professed equality and freedom but lacked delivery, watch from the sidelines, or take a chance to secure freedom by joining the British forces. Now, these brothers basically had three options. Y'all can go fight with them British white boys to try to fight for y'all freedom, sit on the sidelines and hope for the best, or you could Salakia. But like literally. Salakia, they had two options. They could either sit back and hope for the best, or actually jump into the war and try to fight for the freedom themselves. And a lot of brothers took that opportunity to run away to the north to try to become a part of the Northern Army so they could fight against the Confederate Army to basically fight for their freedom. Now, you got to understand, this is slavery that we're talking about. They beating the skin off your back. They cutting off brothers' rods, foots. You understand? They making clothes and shoes out of niggas' skin. You understand? They feeding our babies to alligators. We got to work from sun up to sundown, and not even just in a cotton fields. We got to take care of their livestock. You understand? You got sisters that's nursing these damn devil's babies, right? It is like sisters is getting raped, brothers is getting raped. It's all manner of hell going on during slavery. So you got to think in a mind frame of a person who is being overly oppressed, overly abused, overly beaten, killed, hung, raped, all of this. And on top of that, we got to build up their damn economy or they're going to beat the living daylights out of us. You got to put yourself in that mind frame and think, okay, I can understand why niggas is going to go fight for their freedom, because it's either if you don't fight for your freedom, you're going to continue to be a slave and you're going to die eventually, a slave. You understand? Whether you refuse to work and get killed, or you're going to work and have children and basically indoctrinate them to be slaves just like you. A lot of brothers was like, man, look, we ain't going for that. I'm running away to the north to try to go fight for my damn freedom. Right? Slovakia. Precedent for such was set during the American Revolution when Lord Dunmore, Royal Governor of Virginia, issued his 1775 proclamation offering enslaved persons freedom if they fought on the side of Great Britain. Look, Lord Dunmore, the Royal Governor of Virginia, he like, look, man, if y'all niggas come up here and fight in our army against them damn those slave masters down there that y'all got, we're gonna guarantee y'all get y'all freedom. All right. It is estimated that between 800 and 2,000 served in what became known as Dunmore's Ethiopian Brigade, which saw limited combat during the war. Now these niggas ain't Ethiopian, you understand? We know that, right? But it's estimated that 800 and 2,000 of enslaved black men went to go fight in this war, right? To basically try to fight for their freedom. After the revolution, many of these former slaves turned soldiers of fortune and relocated to the islands in the Caribbean or Canada. By the time the War of 1812 erupted, many northern states had abolished slavery. However, such states granted few, if any, rights to citizenship. In the South, slavery remained a way of life and an economic pillar. When the locus of the war shifted in 1814 to the Chesapeake Bay region, people of color were faced with a choice. Freemen like Charles Ball opted to serve in the United States Navy as part of Joshua Barney's Mosquito Squadron, hoping that his service to the new republic would open additional doors. Others opted to join the British, particularly after April 2nd, 1814 proclamation issued by Sir Alexander Cochrane, Vice Admiral and Commander-in-Chief of His Majesty's ship and vessels in North America. This proclamation stated that those who served in the King's forces would be liberated after the war. Man, look, they promised niggas, if y'all come fight on this side of the war, y'all will be free after we win this war, right? Slovakia. Keep going on. It kind of Corcoran or Cochrane had 1,000 copies of his proclamation printed and distributed to the enslaved population residing in Chesapeake Bay, in the Chesapeake Bay region. Cochrane hoped to annoy Americans and bring the consequences of the war home to their own doors. 4 weeks after issuing the proclamation, 100 slaves fled to the British lines, including women and children, finding refuge of Tangier Island, located where the Potomac the Potomac River drains into the Chesapeake Bay. Tangier Island became a British training ground for runaway recruits, becoming the nucleus of what was called the Corps of Colonial Marine. The nucleus is basically the brain of something, or something that keeps something going. They said that these runaway slaves basically became the nucleus of the corps of colonial marines. Males who would choose to fight were drilled and called blue jackets. Others opted to become laborers, helping the British to erect Fort Albion on the island. For the American, Cochrane's proclamation was nothing short of a call for servile insurrection, adding to American ire. The Colonial Marines were officially organized on May 18, 1814, and saw their first bout of combat 2 weeks later, practicing in a British raid of Pungotea Creek, a tributary of the Chesapeake. There they skirmished with Americans at Rumley's Gut. Their British commanders were pleased with what they saw, and British Rear Admiral George Cockburn argued that they proved to be the best skirmishers possible for the thick woods of this country, and in fighting demonstrated extraordinary steadiness and good conduct when in action with the enemy. Man, they said, look, these niggas are bad. These niggas go to war. These niggas put in work. You understand? The runaway slaves that was the nucleus of the colonial marines. These niggas were some of the coldest soldiers that America has ever seen. You understand? Salakia. Additionally, the colonial marines proved themselves as adept scouts, as they were familiar with the countryside of the Chesapeake. Man, these niggas been slaves for years. Of course they know the countryside of the Chesapeake. They done been through all around there. You understand? The colonial marines participated in numerous raids the British made on communities stretching the full length of the Chesapeake Bay. Eventually, 3,600 African Americans joined the British military effort, with between 550 and 700 trained as troops. One of the sticking points of the war-ending Treaty of Ghent dealt with British compensation for American lost property. Salakia. Let me see. I'm just going ahead and read the rest of this. Article 1 of the treaty called for property to be returned. For the American, slaves represented property. Shoddy record keeping by the British combined with suspected number fudging by the Americans only complicated matters. 4 years after the Treaty of Ghent had been signed in December 1814, the issue of compensation remained unresolved. In 1818, Caesar Alexander I of Russia agreed to arbitrate the dispute between England and the United States. In 1823, Caesar handed down his ruling, which favored the Americans, declaring that England needed to provide just indemnification for all private property, including slaves, which the British forces may have carried away. 3 years later, after continuing haggling and scrupulous study of the exciting records, the British agreed to pay the United States $1.2 million as settlement. So I'm gonna skip down. In the end, the United States and Great Britain repaired their diplomatic damages, but the service of the enslaved people in the British military came at a cost to African Americans. White Southern Americans always feared a specter of slave uprising, as the history of the successful Haitian revolution against the French remained fixed in their minds. The idea of slaves or persons of color with guns remained a prevalent anxiety in the South. The formation of the colonial Marines further intensified suspicions in the South regarding blacks, tinged with fear of slave revenge upon their masters. This paranoia will remain well entrenched until it erupted in 1861 with the outbreak of the Civil War. Now, Salakia, for going on and on with the article, I just want to finish the article out. But basically, these colonial Marines, these were some cold soldiers. You understand? They literally fought vigorously for their freedom, right? And what not too many people know is going back to the let's get into the Star Spangled Banner, the American national anthem. All right. Behind the lyrics of the Star Spangled Banner, the basics. Like so many famous songs of yore, the Star Spangled Banner started as a poem called The Defense of Fort McHenry. It was written by Francis Scott Key in 1814 during the War of 1812. It's the same war that we were just talking about, right? The stanzas recount the Battle of Baltimore, a days-long siege between British and American forces. Now, Salakia, what I failed to mention was these colonial Marines, these niggas decimated Baltimore. They destroyed Baltimore because they fought that damn good. You understand? And eventually, the colonial Marines, they ended up losing that battle, right? They ended up losing that battle. But before, they had destroyed Baltimore, right? And the Edomite that wrote this song, this was about that event, right? And basically, after they won that battle, he made this song, right? And I'm gonna read y'all the third verse. And this third verse is literally talking about the account on what happened at Baltimore at the hands of the colonial Marines, which was these runaway slaves fighting for their freedom, right? Salakia. Okay. And it reads, and where is that band who so vauntingly swore that the havoc of war and the battle's confusion, a home and a country shall leave us no more? He like, man, where them niggas that was out here that swore to basically destroy our home and country and leave us with no home no more? Like, where them niggas at? Like, this is literally a diss song, right? That the havoc, Salakia, their blood has washed out their foul footsteps pollution. He said these niggas' blood washed out their foul footsteps pollution. Meaning, like we done slaughtered these niggas and we using their blood to wash out their foul footsteps, right? No refuge could save the hireling and the slave. These niggas said, can't nobody save you niggas from being in slavery, right? From the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave. Man, this damn cracker talking about from the terror or flight, like from you being scared to get up out of here, or the gloom of the grave. Nobody's gonna save you from any of that, right? And the Star Spangled Banner in triumph doth wave, meaning like when somebody has conquered a place or won a war back in those times, they'll stick their flag in there like, nigga, it's us right here. You understand? They saying, look, we done slaughtered them niggas. Now the flag waves, right? Or the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh, thus it, Salaki, oh, thus be it ever when freemen shall stand between the loved home and the war's desolation, blessed with victory and peace. May the heaven rescue, may the heaven rescue land. Praise the power that have made and preserved us a nation. Then conquer we must when our cause is just. And this be our motto, and God is our trust. And the star-spangled banner in triumph shall wave, o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Man, the Star-Spangled Banner is a diss song to the colonial Marines that try to fight for their freedom and not be oppressed by these damn crackers down there in the South. This has been another installment of Nothing New Under the Sun. Like, share, subscribe. Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shah Barak Thumb to the brothers. Yahweh Shamar Alathun by Hashem, Yahweh Shah to the sisters. Make sure you subscribe. You know what I'm saying? We trying to build up this channel. We trying to build up this school and build up this nation up under Christ. Make sure you pay your tithes. With that being said, Shalom, Israel.